Hi, and welcome back to my kitchen table. Anna here with more talk about awakening and the dark night of the soul and all of that good stuff that I can't stop contemplating right now, that I guess you are contemplating too if you're here. So thank you for being here. Um, Thinking about awakening and what it is really. Like, what is awakening? What do you think awakening is? Do you think it's this burst of enlightenment and suddenly your whole life has changed? And the old ways of being no longer apply, right? I'm no longer traumatized and acting out my childhood trauma. I'm no longer, the some part of my coping mechanisms, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't really work that way. And unfortunately, and I've been really thinking, like, what really is awakening? And what I've landed on in this moment is that it is nothing more than a completely full, no, not completely. Okay, that suggests there's an end game in mind. Let me start that over. Awakening is a fuller expression and embodiment of your wholeness. Okay, it is a fuller expression and embodiment. It might not be the most full. It might not be, we might not have reached the destination because it is a journey, all that good cliche stuff. But it is this embodiment of wholeness. It is a self recognition of your own wholeness. And what is that? It is also, through my lens, a deeper awareness of you, yourself, as both fully human and more than human, beyond human, right? And I don't mean transhuman with AI generated implants and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you as being a soul having a physical human experience, right? It is the full breadth of human experience, which is not an always comfortable experience, right? We get sick, we get injured, we get betrayed, we get hurt, we hurt others, we injure others. This is all part of this being human, right? It is messy, complicated, sometimes shame inducing, filled with moments that offer great opportunity for chagrin, a lot of opportunity for coulda, woulda, shoulda, all the things that we maybe wish we could have done differently if we had known. Of course, we would have done differently if we could have done differently. But the other aspect that I've been really kind of harping on as I've been talking so much about death over the, kind of last month or so in terms of how it relates to the dark night of the soul, that death, that willingness to let go of the false self that says, I am that. This was happened to me. I created that. It's not to say you didn't create that or have those experiences, but that's not actually who you are. The false self is what identifies with that, right? So I've been talking about all of this in terms of the collective dark night of the soul. And so if the individual journey to awakening is recognizing, owning, honoring, embodying your wholeness, how does that exactly map onto the collective dark night of the soul, the collective, what we're calling the great awakening? So many of us are so hopeful that things are really going to change, right? Myself included. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have some skin in that game. But how do we map this onto the collective journey when the collective is more divided than it has ever been? When there is now this mandate for groupthink, right? We've all got to be on the same page and we have to think the same way because that's the right way. How does a divided collective express or embody wholeness? This is the question. This is the riddle that we're here to solve and that I'm posing to you today, because maybe you've got some great ideas about this. I will say that if you know me, you know I have one word for you, and that word is love. And how simple and Pollyanna-ish that might seem, but actually love is not it's simple, but it's not easy. It's actually the hardest effing thing that we're here to do. The hardest thing we're here to do is love somebody who has hate in their eyes. Love somebody who thinks very differently than we do. Love ourselves when we've been taught the opposite, when we have been taught to hate ourselves, hate our bodies, whether you're male or female, hate the limitations of the human form, right? We have been told, taught how to hate ourselves. And it's no wonder we're so divided out there because love is one of the hardest things that we are coming here into this time to do. Um, so part of why it's not easy, right, is that in order to do that, we have to abandon ideology. And in order to do that, we have to question every belief, even the beliefs that arose as a result of questioning older beliefs. You know, there's this thing a lot of people are saying right now about being on the right side of history. And me as an observer of people and culture, and so, you know, I'm kind of a sociologist at heart in many ways. Um, Not all of those people would agree that they are on the same side. So, how is it that all of us can be on the right side of history? What does that even mean? And of course, I hear a lot of you going like, "Oh my God, I can't even believe you think that history is real." Because we know that history is written by the victors and also that it's the greatest propaganda model that there is out there and that it's extremely selective. I was just listening to something recently about how truth and knowingness and like that rightness of being on the right side of history was passed down orally throughout many, many, many millennia. And it wasn't until things were written down that the written word, which of course started as symbols on a clay tablet, as far as we know at this time. Okay, someone can correct me, whatever, whatever. I'm open to being corrected. But when that happened, what got written down then superseded ancestral embodied knowing. And look about it today. All we do is do your web search and plop in some keywords, and all of a sudden the written word is right there thinking for you. And I've even heard that now AI is generating, when you're going to do research, it's generating and pulling tidbits from this so-called history that might not be true. Can you believe it? AI not true? Oh my God, mind-boggling. Anyway, just to say that now we have the written word and we don't question the written word anymore. We have an internal confirmation bias that says if it's written down, especially if it's been published, that it actually must be true. I know not everyone believes this, okay? I'm making mass generalizations. However, like this is a rambly tangential Sunday shenanigan. But anyway, this like coming back to this, like how do we get back to that embodied sense of knowingness? How do we get back to that embodied sense of wholeness? And how do we then extrapolate that into the collective? Some people say, and I don't have any idea where this comes from or if it is true, it's a nice thing to believe, however, which is that only 10% of the collective need to be awake or to awaken in order to create massive change. Only 10%. So think about everybody you know. That's 1 in 10 people. What if 1 in 10 people that you know embraced this love no matter what as a guiding principle? What if 1 in 10 absolutely committed themselves to curiosity and compassion, to be willing to be in that I don't know space, away from ideology, away from groupthink, in leaning in towards love, leaning away from limiting identifications, right? Okay. And then you're saying, well, that's all well and good. How about you be that 1 in 10 that you know? You can be at least one out of the 10 that you know that is committed to this. Okay, but how? How do you do it? How do you practice compassionate curiosity? Because we know, like, it's a chaotic carnival out there. It is, it's really confusing. It's very easy to slip into cynicism, ask me how I know, or fear or despair. And so, how do you stay awake? How do you stay curiously, compassionately awake and open in this time of potentiality? Because that's what this is. How we show up for this is going to ripple out into the potentials that then, um, I hate using the word manifest, but you know what I mean? Like manifest, drop into place, become part of our shared reality. Because there are people out there right now who are not feeling despair, who are not feeling fear, who are not feeling cynical, who have decided to practice love no matter what, who have decided to turn the lens of love on themselves and see how they are showing up, who've decided to be gracious, who've decided to engage in conscious communication with people that they don't agree with. So, how are you doing it? I want to hear, I want to know. How do you do it? How, like, what are your practices? What are your processes? Every day, almost. Sometimes I forget because, I'm having that human part of the experience as well. I give thanks for the opportunity of this day to be alive today. No matter if I don't feel like being alive today, I don't always want to be alive today. That's real. Like, that's human. I'm human. Some days are hard, but to give thanks for the opportunity, for the blessing that this day is. And then I ask God, Spirit, Universe, Goddess, like, let me be a vessel for universal love. Let me be a conduit of divine love. Does it mean that I'm a perfect person? Of course not. Does it mean that I'm better than someone else who doesn't do this process? No, of course not. This is something that's working for me and working for me right now. So I invite you to take it, run with it, make it your own. What would change in your own constitution if your first thought in the day was thank you and let me serve in love? How would that just feel to your own body? Do I do it because I think I'm a goody two shoe who wants to make the world a better place? There's a percentage of that, but the biggest percentage is that I want to feel good. I want to have that experience of wholeness embodied. I want to feel it in my body, in my spirit, and those early morning thoughts direct me for the rest of the day. It's like setting the course in the little internal GPS. So, anyway, that's it. What if only 1 in 10 of us really truly has to do this work? Let's go find those 1 in 10 people. And if that's you, let me know that's you. Wishing you so much love and compassionate curiosity on your journey today and this week. And I'll see you next week.